All right, namaste everyone. Welcome to your practice this afternoon. My name is Kalindi. So the practice that we're going to do today is going to be based on grounding Vata. So this is a principle from Ayurveda, which is the medicinal side of the yoga system. So Vata is the wind element, and when it's out of balance, we feel very confused, we feel very flighty, we don't feel grounded, we feel like our minds are racing a lot. So to balance this, we need to do the opposite. So today's class is going to be about grounding. We're going to move slowly and steadily. And I really like you to just stay focused on your breath as we move through this practice, as we move through any practice, but particularly with today's practice. So to begin with, I'll get you to stand up. We're going to set ourselves up in Tadasana, or mountain pose. So have your feet right underneath your hips and just start to lift your toes, spread your toes out nice and wide, and then release them back down. Take a moment to press a little more firmly down into the ball of your big toe, the ball of the little toe, and then firmly back into your heel. Just feel those 3 points of your feet pressing down nice and firmly. So these are the points of your feet you're grounding into. Then there's going to be a little lift. So a little lift up through the arches. Feel that lift come up through the legs, the front of the hips, up along the spine, out through the crown of your head. And just feel your shoulders soften down away from your ears, and then gently close your eyes. So just notice how your body feels here. So you're grounded through the lower half of your body, and there's a slight sense of lightness through the upper body. Come into your breathing, your inhalation, your exhalation. Allow your breath to lengthen out and deepen. Taking a long, slow, deep inhale. And then a long, relaxing exhale out through your nose. And take some breaths in this way. If you'd like to help guide your breath, you can place one hand lightly onto your belly and the other hand just onto the upper chest. Coming into the complete yoga breath now. So inhale down into the belly and feel this breath rise all the way up into the chest. And then exhale from the chest all the way back down to the belly. Inhale again into the belly, into the chest. And exhale, chest, ribs, and squeeze the belly back toward the spine. Alright, just taking 2 more breaths here. Feel free to release your hands down if you're comfortable with that breath. And when you're ready, just gently reopening your eyes. All right, from here we're going to come into a balancing position. So just ground down a little more firmly into that right leg, that right foot. Shift your weight into that foot, and then that left foot. First option is just to take the heel on against the ankle. Your second option is just try that foot up against the calf muscle, or the third option is up into the thigh. So find what is suitable for your body at this point in time, and then take your hands lightly together in front of your heart. Soften the shoulders down, ground firmly into that standing leg, lifting tall here, and have a nice steady gaze point, and take some breaths. Taking one more breath here. And with your exhale, releasing your hands and releasing your foot. Starting to plant down firmly into your left foot now. And that right foot either against the ankle, up to the calf muscle, or maybe into the thigh. So if you are having a little bit of trouble with your balance at the moment, that's okay, just keep your foot in the lower position. Soften the shoulders, lift tall up out of the hips, ground firmly down into that left foot. And take some steady, relaxed breaths here. Alright, taking one more breath. And with your exhale, release your hands down, and again, release your foot. Give your feet a little shake out here if they need it. All right, from here, come right up towards the top of your mat if you aren't there already. Again, standing in Tadasana, we're going to start to move through our sun salutes. So we're going to take these sun salutes fairly slowly and steadily. We'll spend a breath or two in each pose as we come into them. So from here, take your inhalation, reach out through your fingers, reach up towards the ceiling, maybe a gentle back arch here. And then exhale, start to tip forward, take the hands out wide, bending at the knees as you come down. And then take your inhalation, lift up to a halfway position. Hands can come to the shins or the thighs. Reach the crown of the head forward, reach your hips back. Take another breath. And exhale, slowly lower down, bend into the knees, hands towards the ground. Step your right foot back behind here, lower your knee to the ground. As you inhale, lift up, we're going to come up into a low lunge. With your exhale, just soften down into the hips. Gentle reach up through the fingers. Shoulders away from the ears. Gaze is steady. And then with your next exhalation, releasing down, take your hands towards the ground and make your way back into a downward dog. So coming up high onto the balls of the feet, reaching out through the hands. And with your exhale, just lowering those heels toward the ground. Press up and back through the hips. And then with your next inhalation, shift your weight forward into a plank position. And then exhale, bend into the knees and lower yourself down onto your belly. From here, slide your elbows underneath the shoulders. Ground down into your pelvis as you reach your chest forward between the arms. Take another breath here, opening up through the front of the body. And then exhale, lowering down. Slide those hands back underneath the shoulders. Step back into downward dog. Take a breath here in your downward dog, lifting up high through those hips, driving out through the arms. And then inhale, lift up through your right leg, reach it up towards the ceiling as high as you can. And then exhale, step that foot up in between the hands. Lower down onto the left knee, untuck the toes. Take your inhalation, lift up. And exhale, soften into your lunge. Gaze is nice and steady, softening into those hips, inhaling, and then exhale, bring the hands down and step up to the top of the mat. Release into your forward fold. And then inhale back into that halfway position, reaching the crown of the head forward, gaze is down. Exhale, lower back into your forward fold. Then inhale, press firmly into the feet, reach up through the arms, growing tall, lifting up out of the hips. Exhale, hands to the heart. Just ground out firmly into the feet. Just notice your foundation again. Press into those 3 points of the feet. And then take your inhalation, reach your arms around the body, maybe a back arch here. Exhale, tipping forward, lowering down over the legs. Inhale to your halfway lift, reaching the crown of the head forward, pressing back through the hips. Another breath here. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lower. Let's step our left foot back behind this time. Lower that knee to the ground. And again, inhale, come up into your lunge. Exhale, soften down here, lift tall through the arms, through the torso. And then exhale, lower those hands down, make your way back into downward dog. Nice big inhalation here, exhale. And then inhale, rocking forward towards plank. Up to you if you want to come down through chaturanga, you're welcome to. Otherwise, just drop the knees to the ground and lower down onto your belly. This time, keeping your hands just underneath the shoulders as you take your inhalation, gentle press up, gentle cobra. Another breath here, inhale. And exhale, lowering down. Inhale, make your way back into downward dog. Taking a breath or two here. And then with your next inhalation, let's lift up through that the left leg. Reach up high through that leg and then exhale, step that foot up in between the hands. Lower down onto the right knee. Inhale, come up. And exhale, soften into your lunge. Inhale, growing tall up out of those hips again. And then exhale, make your way down, stepping forward. Release into that forward fold. Inhale, come to a halfway lift. Lengthen through the crown of the head, the back of the neck, the spine. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, make your way back up, big reach, growing tall, planting firmly into the feet. Exhale, lower the hands down. Inhale, again, reach the hands around the body, maybe a little back arch here. Exhale, tipping forward. Inhale, come to a halfway lift, lengthening along the back of your body. Another breath here. And exhale, lower down. We're going to step straight back into a downward dog from here. So make your way back. And hold your downward dog for a breath. Lifting up high through those hips. Drawing back and down through your heels, driving out through the arms. Gaze is steady. Then as you inhale, drop to your knees. Untuck your toes. And make your way briefly into child's pose, bottom to the heels, walking your fingertips forward, forehead to the ground. Let's take a breath here. And then with your next inhalation, lifting back up onto hands and knees, and exhale back into downward dog. Nice and steady and controlled with those movements as you come between these two positions. So another breath here. And then with your next inhalation, dropping down to the knees, and again, exhale, child's pose. Let's take another round of breath here. And then again, inhale, making your way back up. And exhale into downward dog. We're going to move through one more round of downward dog to child's pose. So take a breath here. And then with your next inhalation, again dropping down to the knees. And exhale back to child's pose. Walk those hands a little more forward if you can. Forehead to the ground if possible. And letting your hips, the back of the hips go heavy. Inhale, make your way back up. And exhale into downward dog. Then from here, just simply walking your feet up towards the hands, taking those feet underneath the hips in a moment to lower down into your forward fold. Then inhale to your halfway lift, straight legs straight back. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, make your way back up, big reach as you come to the top, ground firmly into the feet. Exhale, hands to your heart. All right, moving through a different variation of a sun salute this time. So let's inhale, bring the hands around the body, little back arch. Exhale, tipping forward. Inhale, coming to your halfway lift. Not holding this one for as long this time. Exhale, lower down. We're going to step back with the right foot. Take your right foot on a 45-degree angle. So it's not completely pointing to the long edge of the mat. It's about halfway between the long edge and the short edge of the mat. Again, just ground firmly into the feet, bend deeply into that front knee, and inhale, make your way up into warrior one. Drive out strongly through that back leg, bend deeply as you can into that front knee. Take another inhalation, grow tall up out of the hips. And then exhale, gently bring those hands back towards the ground. Step back into a plank position. All right, take an inhalation here in your plank. And then with your exhale, either down through chaturanga or down through the knees. Inhale, come to cobra or upward dog. And then exhale, back to downward dog. Let's take a nice long deep breath here in downward dog. And then with your next inhalation, lift up through that right leg, reach it up high, and then exhale, step that foot in between the hands. Turn on your back heel, so again that back foot's on that 45-degree angle. Bend deeply into your front knee, and with that inhalation, lifting up, driving out strongly through the back leg. Deep bend into that front knee. Inhale, lifting tall, and then exhale, gently lowering back down. Let's step forward. Release into your standing forward fold. And inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, make your way back up, extending through the fingers, planting firmly into the feet. And exhale, hands to your heart. Again, just take a moment here to press out firmly into the feet, noticing your foundation, feeling grounded through the lower half of your body. All right, inhale, reach the hands around the body, maybe a little back arch here. Exhale, tipping forward. Nice and steady and controlled with that movement. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, hands down, stepping that left foot back again on that 45-degree angle. Bend deeply into your front knee. Inhale, come up, reach up through the arms. Exhale, just settle into the pose as you drive out through the back leg. Feel your spine lifting tall and your gaze is nice and steady out in front of you. All right, then with your exhalation, gently easing yourself down and back into a plank position. Inhale here in your plank. And then exhale, either down through the knees or down through your chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. And exhale into your downward dog. Taking a breath here. And then with that next inhalation, let's lift and reach up through that left leg. And exhale, step it up in between the hands. Turn and ground that back foot, 45-degree angle, plant firmly into that back foot. And inhale, make your way up. Exhale, bending deeply into that front knee. Feel the front of your body lifting tall from your pelvis all the way up through the chest, out through the crown of the head. And then with your exhalation, gently lowering yourself back down and stepping forward. Inhale to your halfway lift. And exhale, lower down. Inhale, take the hands out wide as you reach up. Extend through the fingers, plant firmly into the feet. Exhale, hands to your heart. And again, just reconnect with your foundation, your feet. inclining firmly into the feet, maybe closing your eyes here and just taking a breath or two. All right, release your hands, opening your eyes. Let's step back with our left leg. So take your back foot on a 90-degree angle so it faces the long edge of the mat, and your front foot is facing the short edge of your mat. We're going to come into Warrior Two, so just take a moment to bend into that front knee and make sure that your kneecap is tracking over in line with your middle toe. So if it's knocking inward, just try and draw it back a little bit. Reach your arms up in line with the shoulders, extend out through the fingers, soft gaze forward. Now for this one we're going to move with our breath, but we're going to take these movements slowly and steadily, so moving with control. So let's take an inhalation, reach up through the arms, straighten through the front leg, and then exhale, coming back down. Moving with the full length of that breath, inhale, coming up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale, lower. Let's do 2 more of these. Inhale, come up. Exhale, lower. Last one. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, lower. Just take a breath here in your Warrior Two position. Steady gaze, reconnect with your feet. And then with your next inhalation, straighten through that front leg and gently release the arms down. All right, hands to the hips from here. We're going to come into triangle pose. So for some of you, you may find you need a slightly shorter stance here. So if that's you, bring that back foot in slightly. Take an inhalation, lengthen along your spine. And with your exhale, press your hips back behind, reach your torso forward, sliding your right hand down to wherever it may reach and reaching the left arm up. Now you may find for this position that turning your gaze to the side or towards the ground might be a little easier on the neck, so you choose what you want to do here. Again, just connect with those feet, press into the 3 points of the feet and use that to lift through the arches, through the legs, so your legs are activated and strong. Your torso is reaching forward through the crown of the head, and arms are reaching away from each other. So your whole body is active here. Let's take 2 more breaths. And then with your next inhalation, a little bend into that front knee, make your way back up and release your hands down. Awesome. All right, bend into that front knee again. So we're coming back towards that Warrior Two position. But this time you're going to bring your right elbow down onto the thigh. Now press and lift up out of that elbow. Do the same thing with the feet. So press into the feet, but use that press to lift the rest of the body up and away from the ground. Let's reach the top arm over the ear. Reach into those fingertips. Again, just turn your gaze to wherever it's comfortable for your neck. Maybe drive out a little more strongly through that back foot. For those of you that can take the right hand to the ground, go for it. Or if you have a block nearby, maybe a hand onto a block or a book. All right, let's take 1 more breath here. And then with your next inhalation, lifting back up and exhale, release down. All right, just swiveling on your feet. So your right foot's now facing the long edge of the mat. Your left foot is facing the short edge of your mat. Once again, just bending into your left knee, checking that your kneecap is tracking in line with your middle toes. Reaching your arms up in line with the shoulders, reach out through those fingers. Nice steady gaze here. Start to move with our breath. Inhale, nice and slowly lifting up, straightening through the front leg, reaching up through the arms. And then exhale, bend that front knee, release the arms down in line with the shoulders. Let's continue to move. Inhale. Exhale, lowering down. Inhale. And exhale. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale, again, lower into your warrior two. And let's hold here for a breath. Connecting with your feet here. And then inhale, straighten through that front leg. Release the arms down. All right, triangle pose on this side. So adjust your back foot if you need to. Hands to the hips. Inhale, lifting up out of the hips. And then exhale, tipping from the hips, reaching your torso forward out over that front leg. Slide your left hand down to wherever it may reach. And reach the right hand up. So again, just turn your gaze to wherever it's most suitable for your neck. And again, just being aware of the feet, pressing into the feet, feeling the arches lift, feel the legs activate, those hips reaching back, crown of the head reaching forward, and arms reaching away from each other. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And then with your next inhalation, again, bend into that front knee, make your way back up and release your arms. Take a little moment here. All right, coming into side angle on this side. So again, bend deeply into that front knee. Left elbow to the thigh. Again, press up out of that elbow to rotate and open the chest. Then let's reach this right arm over, extending through the fingers, planting firmly into the feet. So the wind element Vata tends to be more aggravated at the change of seasons, particularly this time when we're, well, particularly in the south, we're moving from summer into autumn, but there's definitely a change of season going on here in Darwin as well. So even more important to stay grounded as we move between the seasons. Let's take 1 more breath. And then inhale, make your way back up. And exhale, release your hands. All right, turn your feet in towards each other and just walk your feet back together. And maybe you need to give your feet a little shake out. All right, from here we're going to come into another balancing position. So re-ground into the feet. We're going to shift our weight into our left foot. Take a little bend into that knee, just a slight bend to start with. We're going to pick up the right foot, cross it over, start by resting your toes on the mat. Now bend a little bit more deeply into that standing leg, your left leg, until your thighs are squeezing against each other. As you bend deeply into that knee, press your hips back behind like you're going to sit into a chair. Okay, then from here you're going to bring your right arm out in front of you and you're going to wrap the left arm around, either backs of the hands together or palms together. Reach those elbows forward. Soften the shoulders down away from the ears. Now for those of you that can, you can pick up that foot and wrap it around the back of the calf muscle there. Otherwise your toes can gently rest on the mat. Let's take 2 more deep, focused, steady breaths. All right, then with your next inhalation, lifting up, both feet to the ground, reach your elbows back, open across the chest, open the front of the body, exhale, lower. All right, other side. So grounding down into your right foot, little bend into that knee again. And crossing that leg over. Toes on the mat, or maybe you can take the wrap. Bring your left arm out in front of you, wrap the right arm around this time. So opposite sides. And then sink down a little lower, pressing your bottom back. Reaching the elbows forward. And steady, focused, relaxed breaths. Keeping your gaze nice and steady as well. All right, taking one more breath here. And then with your inhalation, opening up both feet to the ground, drawing those elbows back. Open across the chest. And exhale, release down. All right, if you aren't facing the side of your mat, turn to face the side of your mat now and step your feet out nice and wide. Take your hands to the hips, just have a look at your feet, ground into the feet like we've been doing, and just have your toes turned in very, very slightly. Let's take an inhalation, lift tall up out of the hips, and exhale, tipping down, gently easing yourself down. Remember, we're taking our time with this, slow, steady movements, and then maybe releasing your hands to the ground. Just let the crown of your head drop downward. Re-anchor into both of your feet. And tune back into your breath. Steady, relaxed breath. And make sure your gaze has a steady point to focus on as well. All right, let's take one more breath here. Letting your spine lengthen down as you tip forward. And with the next inhalation, a little bend into your knees and make your way back up. All right, we're going to swivel on our feet. So we now have our left foot facing the short edge of the mat. We're going to swivel on the back foot so it's on a 45-degree angle and take a bit of a shorter position here. We're going to come into folding triangle. So you can have your feet moving towards the edges of your mat so that you can get your hips facing forward. Hands to the hips again, inhale, lengthen up, and exhale slowly with control, making your way forward. Pressing your hips back as you come down, reaching the crown of the head forward. And then feel free to slide your hands down to wherever you may reach on the front leg. And for some of you, you may find you can reach your hands to the ground. So whichever position that you're in, again, just let the crown of the head drop slightly. Press out into that back foot, into that front foot. Feel your legs active here. And lengthening your torso out of the hips as you fold down. All right, one more breath here. And then with your next inhale, a little bend into that front knee and slowly make your way back up. All right, swiveling on your feet. So you're now facing the other side, right leg is forward, left foot is on that 45-degree angle. Just take a moment to adjust your feet as you need. Hands to the hips when you're ready. And then inhale, lift up, lengthen. And then exhale, tipping down from the hips, pressing your hips back as you make your way down. And then once you've gone as far as you can, slide your hands down to wherever you may reach. Or maybe hands to the ground, gently turning the crown of the head downward. Steady gaze point, steady breath. Feel your feet in contact with the ground. All right, one more breath here. And with your next inhale, a little bend into your front knee. And again, slowly coming up. From here, step up to the top of your mat. Take a moment to reground into mountain pose, into the feet, and letting the rest of the body lift tall up out of your hips from here. All right, from here we're going to step back with the right foot again. This time, stay up on the toes of the back foot. Bend deeply into your front knee, so you're in a high lunge position now. So from here, reach your arms up alongside the ears, extend through the fingers, lifting tall through the spine and reach out into your feet. Take a breath here. And then with your next inhalation, slowly start to reach your torso forward and take your arms back behind. Reach back into your fingers. It's a slight lift through the torso as you come forward. From here, we're going to come up into a warrior three, another balanced position. So you may like to just step that back foot forward a little bit more and then make your way up, straightening through the front leg, bring that back foot up, reaching back through the fingers, draw in through the belly for this one, that will really help. It may also help to have the hands together in front of the heart. Reach the crown of the head forward, steady gaze, steady breath, grounding into that standing leg. One more breath. And inhale, make your way up without falling out. And release back into Tadasana. Steady, controlled movements and breath, most times. All right, let's do the other side. So reaching back with that left leg, bending deeply into that front knee, pressing out through the ball of the back foot. Then let's inhale, reach up through the arms, soften those shoulders down. Steady gaze, steady breath. And then from here, reaching your torso forward, reaching your arms back behind. When you're ready, start to make your way up into warrior three. So you may come from this position, or you may need to just shorten your stride up a little. And then when you feel ready, straighten through the standing leg, bring that back foot up. Draw in through the belly, squeeze those upper thighs towards each other. And maybe take the hands together in front of the heart. Breathe. All right, one more breath. And then inhale, slowly lifting up and placing that foot back in contact with the ground. Again, mountain pose. Nice, steady, controlled breaths here. All right, from here, let's inhale, reach the arms up around the body, little back arch. Exhale, tipping forward, making your way down. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, lower down, step back to plank. And then make your way down onto your bellies. All right, from here we're going to work through a couple of back strengtheners. So just take a moment to ground down into your pelvis, reach your legs long back behind you. We're going to take the hands behind with the palms pressed down into the mat. From here, I'll get you to inhale. Start to lift your right leg away from the mat. Exhale, gently lower it down. And then inhale, lift your left leg away from the mat. Exhale, lower down. Again, right leg, inhale, lifting up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left leg. Exhale, lower. All right, this time when you come up, Inhale, reach back through the arms, lift the legs, lift the chest, reach through the arms, extend through the crown of the head, keep your gaze down. All right, let's take 2 more breaths here. And then with your exhale, lowering down, take the hands underneath the shoulders, press up to hands and knees, and then easing yourself back into child's pose. Extend out through the arms, forehead towards the ground. Letting the back of your hips go a little heavy here. Breathe down into your lower back. Let it open and release. Alright, taking 2 more breaths. And then with your next inhalation, gently lifting back up, walking your hands back towards you, and then making your way over onto your bottoms. Alright, hope you're all doing okay. We're going to come into just a simple seated twist here. So come into a cross-legged position and have your left leg in front. If you can, walk the ankles out so they're more underneath the knee. So it's more of a box shape with the legs. From here, we're going to take our right hand to the left knee. We're going to take the left hand behind. Take an inhalation, lift up tall, reach through the spine, and exhale, rotating around. Feel free to close your eyes. So you'll notice here that obviously the feet are no longer our foundation. This is now the sit bones. So gently ground down into your sit bones and use that to help lift and rotate the torso around. Steady breath. All right, 1 more breath. And with your exhale, slowly releasing out, coming back around to the front of the mat. And switch sides, so taking the right leg in front now. Creating that box shape with the legs. And then left hand to the knee, right hand comes behind. Ground into your sit bones. Inhale, lifting up tall. And exhale, gently rotating around. So using that grounding feeling to help lift and rotate. Okay, feel free to close your eyes and just tune into your breathing, that steady rhythm of the breath. All right, taking 1 more breath here. And with your next inhalation, slowly releasing out, coming back to the front of the mat. Just take your hands to the knees for the moment. Take a long, deep breath in and out. All right, from here, release your legs straight out in front of you. Now I'm going to give you a couple of options, so I'm just going to turn side on so you can see what the options are. We're going to come into a forward fold. So if you're pretty tight through the backs of the legs, if you're tight through the hips, what I'll get you to do is bend your knees up and just rest your torso onto your thighs. Reach your hands for your feet or maybe for your ankles, depending what you can grab a hold of. Then from here, you're just going to start to walk the feet away or maybe slide them away. But making sure that you keep your belly in contact with the thighs the whole way down. This is a much better supported position if you have trouble with your lower back or if you are particularly tight through the legs and the hips. If you're quite used to practicing a seated forward fold without doing that, then just simply tip from your hips. Maybe you can grab a hold of the feet, maybe hands to the ground. And then just letting your gaze turn downward. You can close your eyes if you like. Take a long, deep inhalation, lengthen along the spine, and exhale, gently lowering down. Settle in to the experience of this pose, grounding into the sit bones, grounding into your heels. All right, let's take one more breath here. And then with your next inhalation, release your hands from wherever you are and slowly make your way back up. Awesome. All right, from here, we're going to come into a half shoulder stand. So if you need to watch forward for that one, you're welcome to. Otherwise, you can come to lie on your backs. So actually I'll give you a couple of options for half shoulder stand. So the most simple one is just to simply lift your legs up. If you've got a clear wall nearby, then you can lift your legs up against the wall. It's a nice position to come into. But if you'd like to come into half shoulder stand, you just start to rock the knees in towards the chest, rolling the spine up off the mat, taking the hands onto the backs of the hips. Now from here, rock your hips down into your hands, so they become a little shelf for your hips, and you extend your legs up from there. So if you have any trouble with your neck or shoulders, or you just don't feel comfortable in this position, then you can just come back down, lift your legs up. For those of you that can do a full shoulder stand safely, go for it. But wherever you are, we're going to spend a few breaths here. So let that chest be open, your gaze nice and steady, and your breath steady. Let's take 2 more long deep breaths here. Alright, for those of you in half shoulder stand or full shoulder stand, start to bring the knees into the chest. Release your arms, rolling your spine back down. For those of you with your legs straight up, let's all bend our knees into the chest, wrap the arms around the knees. Give yourself a little squeeze here. Alright, from here we're going to come into fish pose, which is a nice counter pose after doing shoulder stand. It's a gentle back arch as well. It's a nice chest opener. So you may need to just listen quite carefully to these instructions. So from here you're going to slide your left arm underneath the hips, the arm is straight, and then you're going to slide the right arm underneath the opposite hip. So now both of your hips are resting on your arms. Your hands are quite close together, the thumbs should be able to touch. And then from here you extend your legs out in front of you. From here we're going to start to press into the forearms, press into the elbows. Start to lift the head and the upper back away from the mat. And then turn the top of your head down towards the ground. So you lift your chin towards the ceiling, the head drops back. Nice way to stretch and open the front of the throat as well. Keep your gaze steady, keep your breath steady. Let's take 2 more breaths here. And then with your exhale, just slowly releasing back, taking the back of your head back in contact with the ground, feet to the ground. Lift your hips, slide your arms out. And from here, just bring the soles of the feet together, knees out wide. Feel free to rest your hands wherever you like. They can be the inside of the legs, they can be out to the side, or maybe reaching back over your head. Facial expression is soft, eyes gently closed, and just take some long, deep, relaxing breaths here. Right, taking one more breath. And then from here, extending your legs out in front of you. Taking your hands a bit of a distance from your hips with your palms faced up, fingers gently curled. Just walk those shoulders down away from the ears a little bit more. And make any other adjustments that you need to ensure you're nice and comfortable. So this is your time now to let your practice consolidate. Let your body settle that energy that's running through every part of your body, allowing your heart rate to slow, your breath to slow. So just let the back of your head go completely heavy. Your facial expression is relaxed, with your teeth gently parted. Softening through the neck, the shoulders, the arms, and out into your hands and each of your fingers. And then softening down through the back of your torso. And the front of your torso is nice and open and light. Your breath is moving freely. Start to relax through your hips, your thighs, your knees, and your lower legs. So allowing your feet and your toes to completely relax. Letting your entire body rest and relax here. Just gently bringing your awareness back to the space around you. And then becoming aware of your body. Noticing your body in its lying position. And then start to bring a little movement back into your body, to your fingers, your toes. Maybe rolling your head from one side to the other. And if you like, you can take a big stretch, reaching out into the fingers, reaching out into your toes. And then starting to bend your knees up, roll yourself out to your right side. And just taking a breath or two here. And then when you're ready, coming back up into a sitting position. Alright, so making yourselves nice and comfortable, letting your eyes gently close. You can rest your hands on your knees, bring the index finger and the thumb lightly against each other. Let there be a soft bend through the elbows. So in the tradition of yoga, where we will finish our practice with some meditation, to allow our minds to completely rest. So the rest for our minds is mantra. Man means mind, tra means to draw away, to free. So we can free ourselves from the bonds of our mind and all its worries, its concerns, and just simply rest in the sound. So the mantra we'll practice with is Om Hari Om. So I'll chant this mantra through. Traditionally it's done as a call and response, but for this online practice, I'll just continually sing it through, and you can join in with me whenever you like, or you can just simply rest and listen. So up to you how you'd like to do it.
Om
Just bring your awareness back onto your breath. Taking a couple of long, deep, relaxing breaths. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. Alright, thank you very much everyone. Thank you very much for practicing with me. I hope this has been helpful to you. Namaste. And I look forward to seeing you again soon at one of our other yoga sessions or our meditation sessions. Take care everyone.